Okay, everybody, welcome to our team Zoom. Wow, it's the end of the month already. It's so hard to believe. October 25th, big auto ship day, and then, all the end of the month activity and everything. It just gets so busy and it just seems like the month went so fast. But we're really excited tonight because we have an amazing guest, Erika Dale, and she's an elite Pro 7. I'm going to give you just a little bit of her background. So she started LifeVantage in 2015 after saying no because she didn't have time or money. How many people are in that predicament that we know? And at the time, she was a gym manager and she was working 50 to 60 hours a week, and she only had $226 in the bank when she finally said yes to LifeVantage. So she has mostly used social media to build an elite rank with LifeVantage because her time was limited. And in her 6 years, she earned 10 all expense paid for trips, and she has enrolled over 800 people. So she's going to share with us tonight on our ITT system via social media and whatever else she wants to share. We're just excited to have you on here, Erika. Let me go ahead and can you unmute yourself, or should I? I can unmute you. Oh, there we go.
Can you allow me to share?
Absolutely. Let me take care of that real quick. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, awesome. Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
It's wonderful to see you, and just so appreciate you taking time out because I know you're super busy.
Oh gosh, everybody is, right? Isn't that like the word of the last 10 years of our lives?
Absolutely.
Well, my husband is on a Zoom in his office, and so I am kicked out to the kitchen because we cannot do Zooms at the same time because he's really loud.
All right.
But well, thanks for having me, guys. I want to jump in. I have not a ton of content, but really just want to kind of focus on this merge of ITT and social media. So whether you're, an expert in social media or you're not quite there yet, this was my really only avenue of building this business. Because as Julie mentioned, I was working 50, 60 hours a week, and gym managers work really weird hours. So I would start my day at like 9 a.m. I sometimes work till 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. And, there was no set times where I could go and do one-on-one meetings or coffee meetings or opportunity meetings. And so this is just how I really built. Now, I will say, as the world is opening back up, we are starting to do some in-home meetings and some opportunity meetings. So whatever way you choose to build, you can use what I'm going to give you guys tonight to go and do that. But I think it's important to learn all different areas and to always expand your knowledge and to be growing. So just a little bit about me. I need to update my stats, but I've enrolled over 800 people in the last 6 years. Our team's doing, about, what are we doing? 100 a month as a Pro 7. And it's just been a fantastic ride. Nothing that I ever thought, as Julie mentioned, the day I said yes, finally, after saying no for quite some time, I had $226 in my bank account. So if you have anyone that you're working with or working on, share my story, because I was a hard no. I didn't have a clue where I would come up with the $1,200 to be a platinum distributor. And I'm of the mindset, go all in. And I didn't have a clue where I would put in the hours. So learning that I could really build this 7 to 10 hours a week with intentional work and effort was one of the reasons that I was able to take a second look. And then also learning how to maximize our ITT system on social media. So I'm really going to focus on Facebook. There's so many platforms. And I'm actually getting ready to do a training for a company next Tuesday. And the reason I'm training is because all of their coaches are like, well, I need to be taught TikTok, and I need to be taught Reels, and I need to be taught, where do I start? And my answer to that is probably one that this particular business isn't going to like, because my answer is do what you want to do. Do what you are thriving on. For me, I have a TikTok account. I couldn't tell you the last time I posted a video to it. So if you can handle going out and maximizing 3, 4, 5 platforms, I would say do that. But most people that's really overwhelming. I like Facebook because it still has the most users logging in every single day, as you can see here with these statistics. And I just feel it's an unlimited potential to grow your network and connect with influential prospects for your business. We got to go where the people are. Now, again, that's not to say like I have people in my team that are crushing it on Instagram. That's where they really thrive at. That's more of their environment. So I would say work with what really speaks to you. That being said, I also am a believer that it's really hard to truly learn all the platforms because they are different. So if you're thinking, well, I'll start recording reels and do the same thing on TikTok, it's probably not going to transfer from one platform to the other and get the same amount of success. So my motto is maximize one, become an expert at one, and then start to learn the others as you go and take on as much as you can in the here and now. So the first thing I want to do with you guys before we really dive into ITT is I just want to give you my bare minimum social media audit. I actually have a social media 101 course on my YouTube that you guys can have for free. I can send it to Julie. It'll dive into this in a little bit more detail, but I want to give you the fast and the furious so that we can really get into the nuts and bolts of the training today. But first and foremost, we're talking about Facebook again, but this is social media. So people want to know who you are. So I would recommend having under your name, just a quick about me, just reference who you are, what that means. This is actually old. Mine now says, and I will share it with you guys. If you can ignore all the 500 notifications and tabs that drives my husband crazy. This is what mine says now. So I've actually removed the emojis, and you can go to my Facebook page and literally copy this and make it your own. But it just gives more information as to who I am, but it also doesn't give away the farm, right? It gives little like snippets, like what is Level Up Your Life? What is Team Heart? What's a biohacker? Oh, she has a podcast. So it just gives a little bit of information about me. If you're a mom, if you're a wife, if you're a husband. So what I would encourage you to do is go and read some about me's of people that you know are doing really well in social media and network marketing and make them sound like you, right? Rip off and repeat, but make them be like you. Don't ever just copy and paste. You always want to change it up to fit you and your personality. The second thing is we need to have a way to contact you offline, meaning put a phone number or an email or a website if you have one. I wouldn't recommend your LifeVantage website because we want to leave some things to curiosity. But what I would recommend instead is you can create a free website on Linktree, or there's one called Tiny URL. I'm going to show you my Linktree if I could figure out how to swap my screen. There we go. So if you go to my profile, and you guys can go here and click on my Linktree, and you can figure out how to create your own. It's fairly simple, fairly user-friendly, but essentially it's going to let you put anything in any way to contact you. So for example, I have a work with Erika. This is like kind of like an application. I have a link to my podcast. I have a link to my website. You might not have all of these things, and that's okay. You don't need them. If you have, a Facebook group, maybe a prospecting group, or the Level Up Your Life group, if you're using that, I would link all these individually. So if someone lands on your social media, they want to know more about you. It's all right here for them. I need to update my Linktree. So what I would encourage you to do is go in with all the new stacks we have and just do gut health, hair health, heart health, brain health, energy, peak energy, whatever they're called. I would label them the exact same. And you're just going to simply put a cart right to it. Or you could put the link. That's what I did. The link to that stack. So now they can go in and see what the heck it is. Right now they're on your website. If they want to order, they can. If they want to go find out more information, they will. But the cool thing is, or why you want to have this is, one, if I'm, a night owl and it's 3 a.m. and I'm like, I can't sleep. And I remembered that Debbie told me something about sleeping. What was that Debbie told me? Well, it's 3 a.m. She's not responding to me, but my emotion is high. I can't sleep and I'm miserable. Now I can go land on her website and go and figure it out, even at 3 a.m. So that's why you want to have some way for them to connect with you, even if you're not right in their face, ready to go. All right. So that's kind of your about me. And the last thing, this kind of comes off blunt to some people, but are you interesting? Again, that about me section. Are you intriguing? Are they wanting to know more about who you are? And, or are you just kind of, being a walking billboard and advertisement? A couple ways to be more interesting is to have great real estate, right? Your social media real estate. So you want to have a nice cover photo. Guys, I am not good at this. I am not a photo shareable maker. Like that is not my forte. So know what you're good at and know what you need to go get help with. I had this cover photo made on Fiverr for $5, and it has been my cover photo for a long time. I don't need to change it. It incorporates my marriage. It incorporates being a CEO, network marketer. It has the Jeep in the background. It has, who I am. But the cool thing about your cover photo is it doesn't have to be you. You could have a really motivational quote. You could have a team photo. You could have a photo of your family. It's really if you're like into gardening, my mom's a master gardener. She might have, a background of her flowers in her garden because it is gorgeous, but it's still who she is. But for your profile photo, this really should be a picture of you. Ideally, if you're married, you could have your spouse in it. If you're a male, have your spouse or partner or friend in a picture with you. Because if you're going and talking to females, unfortunately, we already have our guard up when a male gets into our inbox. But if you have kids, you can do a family photo here. But the key here is it's a picture of you, right? This is Facebook. People want to know who you are. And you guys, you don't need to go and do like professional photos. If you have an iPhone or a Samsung or an Android smartphone, you can take a really nice photo. The key here is your lighting. So my tip for lighting is if you're taking a photo, look into the natural light, whether that's by a window or you're actually out in the sunshine. I know it's not ideal to stare into the sun, but do it just to get that good lighting. You do not need, professional photos done. And again, this photo has been my profile picture for 2 years since I hit Pro 7. It's not broke. I don't need to fix it. Right. But just make sure it's a picture of you, not your animal, not, a logo, not a picture of a product. So I'm going to give you daily method of operations. And this is what I would encourage you to start doing on your social media. It shouldn't be more than this shouldn't be more than an hour of work, because I know most people are not building their business on more than 10 hours a week. You can use this for Facebook and for Instagram. So if you're using both of them, but it's simple 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So 5 new friends and messages, meaning if I go and connect with Julie, I'm not just going to add her and then be like the creepy neighbor looking over the fence that doesn't say hello, right? I'm going to actually message her and say, hey, Julie, I'm Erika. I saw you in such and such, or I saw you lived close to me, or I saw you were into health and wellness. Find some connection and just say, I'm happy to connect with you. Tell me about you, right? What do you do? Ask a question, get them to interact back with you. Because again, this is social media. We need to be social. When people add me on Facebook, I message them if they haven't done it first, because I want to know who they are. I don't want just creepy people sitting on my social media. So that's your number 5. Number 4 is if you're creating stories, and guys, I would be here for like 2 hours if we went into the technical side of creating stories. If you don't know how to use the story feature on Facebook or Instagram, I would just do a quick YouTube search and just watch a couple videos just so you can get the basics down. Again, if that's new to you, I probably wouldn't spend hours and hours of training. I would just get the bare minimum so you can start adding them in. And then 3 ITTs. Now 3 might be aggressive for some of you. 3 might be like, well, I want to do 5. I want to do whatever your number is. I like 3. I grew into this business with the phrase 3 a day press play, meaning I wanted to get 3 people a day to a tool and 3 invites into a tool. You may not complete the team portion of the ITT every single day, but that's just kind of the motto. 2 posts. Now, some of you may just want to stick with 1 post. That's totally okay too. but ideally 1 to 2 posts on Facebook and on Instagram if you're using both. The key here is if you're posting on Facebook and let's say you post at 9 a.m., you want to let that post ride out a little bit. So give it 3 or 4 hours, right? So ideally, if nothing else, post once in the morning, once in the evening, before you go to work, before you go to bed. Those are the 2 most popular times for people anyway, right? What do we all do? We wake up and we get on our social media, we veg out on the couch, we get on our social media before bed. So those would be ideal. But if you're not yet consistent with 1 a day, start there. Start small, work your way up. And then last but not least is not really anything to do with social media, but I'm sure that you guys have had it ingrained in your brains. You got to do personal development. So find something that you like, whether it's Audible, whether it's reading, whether it's YouTube or trainings, it doesn't matter. Just get something good inside of your head every single day. All right, so I want to dive into the ITT, and I'm going to focus this with social media, but this can be used any way, shape, or form, right? This can be a phone call. This could be a text message. It doesn't have to be via Facebook or Instagram or whatever platform you're using, but we know what the bases are. Invite tool team. And we just coined this within the last 1.5 years inside of LifeVantage, but this is what I used to build my business. We just didn't have a fancy phrase for it. So we're going to start a conversation. We're going to see if someone's open, right? If you're connecting with someone on Facebook, find their pain point. If you see a post, I get the most of my customers because I see a post that is calling out with needing help, whether that's sleeping or headaches or whatever other ailment they have. You guys go and message that person. Get in their inbox. Debbie, I saw your post and I could not just scroll by without at least sharing what I think might help you. Would you be open to taking a look? It's a simple conversation, but I think we often overthink that invite and we think we have to have like the perfect sentence, the perfect question. At the end of the day, just be a really good human and show that you care about the person. The tool, whatever tool you like. There are so many tools that I just tell my team, what speaks to you or what speaks to that person? Personalize it. If you know, like if they're calling out about gut health, well, you're probably going to share with them something specific to gut health. The really cool thing is if you guys are using the app, there is a tool for every single thing you could ever need, right? And I don't know how many of you are using the app, but how many of you aren't. So I want to kind of blanket this to just get them in front of information. If it's a text message, I think that's the best, right? Because not everyone's on social media. Not everyone sees their messages on social media. And if you're using the app, it's very easy to say, hey, you know what, Julie, I have this video. Can I shoot you a text with it? Or if you guys are struggling to get the phone number, transitioning from Facebook, I would say, awesome, let me send you that video. Is text or email better? 99% of people will say text and they'll just give you their number. They don't even second guess it. They don't know you can just send it through Facebook, right? So if you're using the app and you want to track and have all of that done for you, that's how I would get them to give up their phone number. And then of course, last but not least, we have our third-party validation. So this is really whatever method your team is teaching you, whatever is working for you guys. For my team, it's 3-way chats via Facebook or text message. It's 3-way calls, which are, I think, more effective, but also can be harder to schedule because people's schedules are crazy. It's tagging. If you guys have like a prospecting group or in the level up group, if they're looking at the business, it's tagging them in something that they would relate to. So that's ATM, add tag message. It's just sharing a testimony with them. So it's not always the 3-way conversation with your leader, but that is one of the best ways of closing up a prospect. So in the invite, we're going to dig into this a little bit in more detail. This is what I teach my team and what I ask a lot of questions when someone says, I don't know who to talk to, or I don't want to reach out to that person. Why are we prejudging people? Like, you guys, we know what we have. Even if you're brand new, there's a reason that you just joined because you saw something in these products or this opportunity. I always tell people, if you had the legit cure to cancer, and I'm not referencing Protandim, if you had in your hand the cure to cancer right now, and you knew, tried and tested, doctor proven, this will cure anyone's cancer, how quickly would you have that message to 100 people? Because you'd be shouting it from the rooftops. You would be cold messaging every single person you know. That's what we need to treat Protandim like. Again, I'm not telling you it's the cure to anything, but I'm telling you that's how you should treat it. Someone somewhere on your list is praying for a way out, praying for help, praying for their health, praying for something to make them feel better. And my thing, people ask you what's your biggest fear in life? I don't have a lot of fears, but my one fear is not talking to someone that I actually could have helped. And so my mission in life is to have a radical amount of conversations, because people need to know what we have. And that's why I don't fear no. I don't fear rejection, even though that's the number one fear of human beings, in case you guys didn't know that. People fear rejection more than they fear dying. I don't fear rejection. I still don't like it. Don't get me wrong. I don't like to hear no. But guys, we have answers. We have a gift. And so when people aren't talking to people and people have people on their chicken list, they just got to get deeper in their belief. That's what I would challenge you guys to do as you are inviting. There's some scripts for you. Julie, I can send these to you if you guys don't want to screenshot this. At the end of the day, there is no perfect invite. This actually came from Seth Mulder. I will not take credit for it, but it works. It's a little bit longer than what I typically like. Now, obviously, if you guys are not launching a business, you could say relaunching. I'm launching a new month. We just launched a new product. Just rephrase this and make it sound like you, or make it fit whatever you're doing, right? If you just hit Pro 4 and you're opening your BC2, hey, you can say you're launching a new business. You are, right? So make this work for you. And I can send this to you, Julie, if you want to get it out to your team. I actually like shorter invites, because people, one, especially in Messenger, if you send me a message like this and I'm in the middle of 500 other things in my day, I will get back to you, but it's probably not going to be until later that day or tomorrow, or when I'm just like, okay, I can actually sit and read. Voice memos. So if you guys if you're on Facebook and you go into a message and you hit that little microphone, it's going to start recording your voice. Don't worry, if you screw up, it doesn't automatically send it. You can delete it, you can re-record it. But I would start sending voice memos, or get familiar with that feature, because people want to hear your voice, right? If I'm in a really crappy mood and Julie comes to me and, I don't know, asks me to do something, and I'm like, ugh, I'm not having it. Or whatever, I'm going to take it in whatever mood I'm feeling that day, because that's how we are as humans. But if I hear her voice and her sweet voice and her inflection and her passion, I'm going to be so much more inclined to respond to her, and it's probably going to put me in a better mood. So voice memos, but again, I like to just keep it short. Hey, I know that you care about your health. I don't know if this would be for you or not, but if I sent you a quick video that's changed my life, would you watch it? If I would, that's Eric Worre to the T, and it works. It works. I can send you guys more invite scripts. I thought I had them on my second slide, but I do not. But again, personalize it. Again, I love this phrase, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. I don't fully agree with that, right? Because if you came at me and cussed me out, or came at me and, I don't know. Okay, it's probably the wrong thing to say to me, right? But I'm also probably not the right person. I have accidentally called someone the wrong name before, guys, and they joined my team. Why? Because I owned my mistake. So just be you, be your personality, and build that relationship. But at the end of the day, ask them to take a look at what you have. The next thing is getting them to a tool. So from the invite, when they say yes, yeah, sure, I'd watch that. Send them whatever tool. I still like, our 10-minute Dr. Dixon video, but sometimes I switch it up. Use what works for you, right? Again, it's just getting them in front of information. We all know that it's going to take typically 5 to 12 follow-ups for someone to say yes or to join you. So at the end of the day, you're going to be taking them through a series of follow-ups and tools and different things. One of my favorite questions to ask is, what more info can I get you to help you make a decision? Because they may say, well, I was really looking for something for gut health and I just don't think you have that. Whoa, that's my fault. We have that. Let me share with you. Let me tell you about the gut health that we have. What did you like best? What stood out to you the most? Wasn't that exciting? What was your favorite part? Again, asking questions after they've seen a video that leads you to the next step, right? Lead you to getting them to another tool, lead you to getting them in front of your leader, lead them to getting them to your website so they can continue to explore. One of my favorite things about LifeVantage is our websites. Like, I can literally just send someone to my website and let them do their research there. It's really, really remarkable what we have. Oh, see guys, I didn't lie to you. I do have more invites. They're just out of order. So here's a couple shorter ones for you that you can screenshot, or I can send these out to Julie as well. But again, just short and sweet. Hey, would you be open to learning more about blank? Hey, I was just showing this video about blank. It really excited me. If I sent it, would you watch it? And then of course we have a business opportunity. Would you be open to learning more about how you can make extra income from Facebook, from your phone, from social media, like whatever you want to say, on a very part-time basis? And then last but not least, we have to get them to the team. Now, obviously you guys will be able to close up customers and distributors without three-ways. It does happen. But if you're getting to a point with someone and they're not pulling the trigger, a lot of times what I'll say is, hey, listen, I want to get you the most amount of information so that you can make the right decision for you. My friend, my mentor, my leader has an incredible story. You're going to love her. The next step in the process is to hop on a phone call with us, right? So get with your leaders, figure out what method they want. For me, I have a calendar link that my team can go to so that they can offer up a couple times to easier schedule, but get with your leader and figure out what works. But a lot of times we kind of balk at this idea of a three-way conversation. And a lot of it is because we're not all seasoned network marketers, right? We haven't been in the industry, and the idea of a three-way conversation it's a little bit weird. I have a nurse on my team who she'd never put me in front of anyone. And I finally just said, Michelle, why have I never gotten on a three-way call or a three-way conversation with your people? And she said, well, Erika, I'm a nurse. I know all the science. I get all of this. And I said, fantastic. You probably know more about the science of these products than I do. But have you ever done network marketing before? And she said, no, I haven't. And I said, do you understand the psychology behind a three-way conversation? Michelle, I'm probably not even going to talk about the science to your people. I'm going to talk about what it's going to do for them. And I'm going to talk about the opportunity if they're looking at that. And the second she made that switch, her business started to grow. But she had to get out of her own way because she felt like she should be the expert. You medical professionals, you're the worst. You're the worst. I'm just kidding. I love you guys. I'm so thrilled that we have so many of you in our team and in our company. But it builds belief and it creates excitement, right? And a good leader knows how to close up your person without being salesy, without being pushy. That's not our job. Our job is not to talk people into getting started with us. It's to give them enough information to make a decision. I've told people on a three-way call that this isn't a good fit for them. They told me they didn't like sales and they didn't like people. I'm like, well, you probably need to go find a different avenue. But we still got them on product, right? So it's not our job to close them up, but three ways can be done however your leader says the best. But again, third-party validation, chats, texts, Zooms. If you guys are local to each other, I think the more belly to belly we can do, the better. And this is coming from someone who built solely on social media, but there's something about the energy that's not via computer, right? Are you guys zoomed out yet? ATMing, if you have prospecting groups, if you're in and utilizing the Level Up Your Life group, your website can be a third-party validation. PubMed.gov, right? Any new exposure that isn't you verbalizing everything to them. So that's really it, guys, for ITT and social media. I would just encourage you to step out of your comfort zone. If that's on social media or if it's learning a new platform. But the beautiful thing is our ITT system doesn't change no matter how you're using it. So Julie, if you have anything else I can do, or if you guys have questions, I've got time, so I'm more than happy to answer them.
Thanks so much, Erica. That was really great. A lot of tips. I have a lot of notes, and I love it. I love your daily method of operation. That is very helpful. And does anybody have a question? If you do, you can type it in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself.
Erica, I have a question.
You covered so much.
Yeah, I love the way you said, getting phone numbers. And it sounds like that's very similar to when I'm working with folks, that social media doesn't always mean 100% social media. So as you're kind of moving from social to local, what methods do you use to move people from social platform to a coffee shop or to a live meeting somewhere?
Yeah, I think it's just that invite. I will be honest with you guys. I hid behind this computer forever. I am an introvert. I would prefer to sit in the comfort of my home. So getting coffee, like, still, I'm like, okay. But I know the power of being in person. And so just make it personal. Hey, Renee, I would love, here's what I don't want you to do. And here's where I think a lot of network marketers go wrong, is we lure them in with coffee or lunch, but we don't say that we want to come and talk about our business. Now this person thinks you're coming to catch up with them, and now you lay out your business on them and they're like, that was disgusting. But what I would do is say, hey, Renee, I have some really cool things I want to talk to you about, but I want to catch up with you too. Can we get coffee? It's been so long since I've seen you, or, whatever you want to say. Now they know that you are going to talk to them about something that you're doing, you're excited about, and you've already let them know that. So there's no like icky feelings there. But I would say if you can get them on a phone call, get them in person, or if you have local meetings, sell the story. If you're doing three-way calls or meetings, sell the story of whoever's coming, right? So like we have Tara Wilson coming to Indy tomorrow. And I'm just telling people, like, guys, this woman retired herself and her husband from corporate America. Even this isn't for you. Her story is remarkable, and the energy is contagious that she's going to bring. I'd love for you to just come and be my guest. That's it. Did that help at all? Okay, good. Christian, as of right now, as far as personal social media, there's a couple apps that you can use to schedule, but I've never had really any success. So I just do them day by day. I am very much a in the moment type of person. I don't really plan out my posts, but if you are more of a planner and you need that kind of just like spelled out, what I would encourage you to do is take 20 minutes, 30 minutes of a day that maybe you're not fully working your business, like a Sunday. A lot of people take Sundays off. Maybe sit out and say, okay, Monday, Tuesday, just write out your 5 posts for the week. So you kind of have, and it might not have to be written, but maybe it's the theme or the subject of that post. So you just kind of have an idea going into your day. And then Debbie, yes. So groups are phenomenal. I'll give you guys my method for groups, and it's, and I don't have my notes with me, but it's, oh gosh, I'm just going to tell you what it is because I can't think of the fun name that we gave it. But basically, go and join 1 or 2 groups that you can really start interacting with. So it doesn't matter how many people are in the group, but go in and see how much interaction is going on, meaning how many new posts a day, and join groups of things you're passionate about. Yes, we all want people that have fibromyalgia because we know what we can do with them. If you cannot relate to that, do not join those groups because they will read right through you. But if you're passionate about cats, guess what? People who are passionate about cats need our product. They might want a business opportunity, and you're going to relate to them because you both have a love for cats. So go and join 2 groups. And then what I want you to do for your weekly or your daily method of operations is every Tuesday, I want you to go in and I want you to post value pertaining to that group. All right, I'm stuck on cats. I don't know why. I don't have a cat, but maybe you go in on Tuesday and you post some new cat food that's really helping your cat with XYZ. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up at this point. On Thursday, I want you to go in those two same groups, and they can be different topics, right? They don't have to be the same cat groups or whatever. And I want you just to post a question. So that might be like, what's your favorite place to travel if you're passionate about travel and you're joining some travel groups? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I want you to go in both groups, and I want you to set a timer for 10 minutes and just interact. Comment on stuff, like stuff, comment value. Don't just comment, oh, I love this. Comment real value back to these posts. 10 minutes, that's it. And then get out of them. So that's going to help you to really grow your engagement inside of groups. And it's going to help you to start to make connections outside of that group where people are starting to add you. And that's a really easy way to then go add the people, because it's really weird in groups, right? There's all these rules and I'm going to get kicked out. I just got muted in a group and I had no idea. I got muted for like 14 days. And I'm like, why can't I post any? Oh, okay. I don't even know what I did. So now I'm like, before I even post anything, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't know the rules here. Please message me if you want to talk. But once you're starting to put your name out there and getting to know people, you can easily go and add Renee and say, hey, Renee, it was so, I found you in XYZ group. Wow, you put a lot of value in there. I'm hoping it's okay to connect. And so now, because your name is probably coming up a lot more, people are more inclined to accept your friend request. You mentioned guy girl issues with photos. How do you handle friending someone of the opposite sex? You got to figure out what works for you. If you're a girl, just be prepared that you're probably gonna at some point get single guys that are doctors, and yeah, I don't know, that's like the new thing right now, these international doctors that have like 5 friends. Vet people before you accept their friend requests. Most friend requests I get from girls mention sex. Yeah, my husband's going through that a lot right now. We don't know why. It's actually very sickening, and it doesn't matter what you do to report it. Facebook doesn't do anything about it. So I think there's just something going on. I would just say work through it, delete them, block them, whatever you have to do. But as far as your photo, I would just make it as appealing, and not, if you're a single man, if you have an animal, if you have like a dog, like hold your dog. If you have a kid, do a picture with your kid. But at the end of the day, don't overthink that part. Just put a nice looking photo of you, and then just be yourself, and just remember that sometimes you're just going to get that pushback no matter who or what you do, and know that, hey, that's not my heart. That's just whoever that person was, unfortunately.
Erika, on your stories that you're putting up, are you, my habit so far when I am consistent at all is to mix some of the social media assets from my Fanage in with other things that are just me that are not by Fanage. Is that what you're doing, or do you have other suggestions?
The only thing I would add to that, Debbie, is tell the story. So if you're going to post, let's just say tomorrow's going to be on gut health, maybe do a little bit of education leading up to the solution, or maybe even just do some writing. Like maybe it's like, I used to deal with XYZ, and so kind of tell that story leading up to those social shareables, but definitely mix in personal, because that's what stories should be. It's kind of like the soap opera of your life. So the fun things that you're doing, or the whatever. I mean, I have weird things on my stories sometimes, but that's part of my life.
So Erika, I have a question. You've enrolled a lot of people. So that's awesome. Were most of those people that you just met randomly on social media in groups and things like that?
Yeah, I think it's probably just years of consistency on social media, but always adding and connecting with new people. Because whether you're a month in, a year in, 6 years in, your warm market does start to dry up if you're not consistently adding to it. Now, I think of social media, if you're my Facebook friend, even if I don't know you, I consider you warm market because you're probably seeing something, but it's getting those cold market to be your warm market.
I guess the thing that I find challenging with social media is, like you were saying, for your daily method of operation, you're adding like 5 new friends every day. Is that what I understand? Yeah, so it's like so many people, like I don't understand how you connect with so many people and how you sift and sort people to find people that would be interested, because it just seems like so many people.
Yeah. And I think I'm not a really good small talk person. I'm very direct. Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's bad. But I think in that process, you really want to try to find people with, 2 or 3 connections, whether that's a mutual friend, whether it's mutual interests, mutual areas, because it just makes it easier to start to have the conversation and to be more genuine. But you can, I kind of told Julie this, you guys, the other day. She asked me, well, what is because I was like, you don't want me to teach your team my method of organization because it's pure chaos. But that's how this whole brain works. But do what works for you. If that's pen and paper and you say, okay, I wrote down my 5 names, and then just make it a habit to go and, comment on their stuff. It doesn't always have to be in Messenger. But don't we all feel good when someone comments on a post or likes a post? One thing, I'll give you this little tip, just in case you guys don't know it. If you have some people who are like hot leads, whether it be for customers or distributors, if you go to their Facebook, I'm trying to think if I have anyone right now. Well, I'll just do this. She's my social media client. If you go to her Facebook or his Facebook and you click on this friends and you click on favorites, I believe you can favorite up to 50 people right now. And so what that does is every time they post, you get notified. So it helps you to stay in front of those leads right away. So you could do that with maybe, 5 or 10 of your new contacts who you feel like these are the relationships you really want to start to be forming heavier. You could do that with obviously leads that are kind of on the fence or haven't pulled the trigger. So make them your favorite, and then you'll get notified when they post, so you can kind of be on top of commenting.
Awesome. Hey, that's a great tip. Thank you so much, Erika, for everything you shared with us. You really covered a lot of ground and gave us a lot of great information that's really helpful. So we appreciate you joining us tonight.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much. And with that, we're just going to end our call here tonight because it's getting late. But thanks everyone for joining us, and have a great rest of the week.
Thanks so much, Erika. This was just so valuable.
You're
really
welcome,
appreciate
guys.
Bye.
I can't wait for the
Julie.
recording. I'm probably going to reach out to you. Just I have some more questions on another level. This is my
Okay.
list. Thank you.